Let me start by thanking Norway and the European Union for taking the initiative and inviting our international partners to meet here at the EU offices in Brussels to host this very important meeting that comes at a very critical and important time. Important time because it also comes at the same week when 3 European countries made very, very important, courageous decisions to recognize the state of Palestine. And it comes only a week after 143 other countries voted in the United Nations General Assembly to say that Palestine is ready for statehood and it's time to recognize Palestine. But the meeting is also important for another reason. It's important because what's happening in Gaza and the West Bank on the ground. Gaza has been going through very difficult, very alarming situation with the humanitarian losses where we see increasing every day, but also the physical damages that will make our job of rebuilding much more demanding. Having said all of that, we're still hopeful as Palestinians that many decades of struggle and working towards independence are coming closer than ever before. These efforts, these announcements, these meetings are key building blocks towards making Palestine independent, sovereign, viable state a reality.
And I believe that all of us, the European Union, and the international community that you call here today in Brussels, we must do everything in our power to reach an immediate end of these hostilities, to achieve the immediate release of all hostages, to alleviate the humanitarian catastrophe unfolding in Gaza, but we should not forget what's happening in the West Bank. There we see an intensified spiral of violence, indiscriminated and punishing attacks by extremist settlers who are more and more targeting humanitarian aid heading to Gaza. And they are heavily armed. And the question is, who is arming them? The urgency is the humanitarian support and release of hostages, but we need the relaunch of the political process for the two-state solution. And I think that we have to discuss about how we can put this into practice. Maybe a conference can be a useful step to gather international initiative and direct our collective efforts towards this end.
I think very wise words were said, and in the interest of time I will not repeat them, but we know how dramatic the situation is. Obviously, in Gaza, with the extreme suffering, we need a ceasefire. We need humanitarian efforts, but we also need to take better care of the Palestinian authorities that we do have, because there is no alternative, and I think we are all convinced there is no alternative in the long run to a two-state solution. A two-state solution requires a Palestinian government. Norway is one of the countries who have recently recognized Palestine as a state, but countries that have recognized and countries who have not yet recognized do agree across the board that the outcome must be a Palestinian state.